After weeks and months of rumblings of unrest within Red Bull, the cracks that formed in the once impenetrable fortress are finally starting to leak. Talk of Max Verstappen, Helmut Marko and Christian Horner leaving has gripped the sport for months, but it is Adrian Newey who is going to be the first to leave. Formula One's most celebrated designer has had enough of the politics within the team and has decided that now is the right time to make a change, and he's planning on going out in the exact same way that every F1 driver wants to. Today, I'm going to check out the news that Adrian Newey is leaving Red Bull and where he's going to finish out his F1 career, so don't go anywhere. News of Adrian Newey's desire to leave Red Bull has run riot for the last week, but until now, how true the rumours were was hard to ascertain. Now though, reliable sources like the BBC's Andrew Benson and Autosport are confirming that yes, this really is happening. Having helped establish Red Bull Racing when the energy drink brand bought Jaguar Racing from Ford in 2004, ready for the 2005 season, Adrian has designed cars for them which have won 6 constructors' titles and 7 drivers' titles, with another of each likely to be added this season. He is, rightly so, considered the best F1 car designer of all time, but with the Red Bull's technical department built around him and his input in the team so vital they allowed him to build the RB17 supercar on the side for fun, Adrian has always been very well looked after by his team and has never really had any reason to leave. Despite still being under contract for a few more years, the unrest within Red Bull has upset him enough that now is apparently the time for change. A decisive factor in his decision is said to have been his broken relationship with team boss Christian Horner in the wake of the power struggle that took place earlier in the year following the allegations made against him by a female employee. This happened after relations between the two had already started straining due to a number of incidents, including an interview published at the end of last year where Horner said Newey's role had changed and that the technical team under him, led by Pierre Wash, is doing a wonderful job, so they're not dependent on Adrian. Horner also explained that Manchester United did not go under when star striker Eric Cantona left the team. That interview did not go down well with Newey, and was apparently perceived by him as Horner wanting to make himself important and minimize the contribution of others to the team's success. Newey's wife Amanda even shared the interview on Twitter and commented, "What a load of hogwash." Rather than there being one defining factor to his current desire to leave then, it is a combination of multiple things, with Red Bull's current power struggle being the straw that broke the camel's back, as they say. The 65-year-old's contract as Red Bull Chief Technical Officer runs until the end of 2025 and is said to include a 12-month non-compete clause that theoretically should have precluded him from starting work on another team until 2027. But his lawyers are securing an early exit and he'll be free to start work from next year, high-level sources close to Red Bull and Newey have said. Behind the scenes, the talks are apparently completed, and the only reason an official announcement has not yet been released is to respect the anniversary of the deaths of Roland Ratzenberger and Ayrton Senna. An official announcement is expected before the Miami Grand Prix though. The early exit from his Red Bull contract allows Newey to be in place at any team for which he signs in time to start work on their 2026 car. The sporting regulations ban teams from working on the new technical regulations until January 1st, 2025, meaning no designing of cars can happen until then. Of course, it does, but it's happening at home on the computers and desks of men like Adrian Newey, not in the factory. Until the 1st of January, everything is purely theoretical and nothing can be tested properly. Not that there are set regulations to design around yet anyway. Newey's ability to find the secret to new regulations is perhaps his best trait. His ability to do so for the 2022 regulation changes gave Red Bull the advantage they needed to dominate the sport in the way they now do. And when he moves to a new team for 2025, they will likely be the favourites to find the early advantage in 2026. He has the pick of the grid for his next workplace, but by all accounts, Adrian has already made his decision. Aston Martin offered him a huge contract. However, it's rumoured that Newey is rather reserved towards Stroll Sr. and is therefore not considering the Canadian's financially attractive offer. Also, because he does not like the idea that Stroll could drive up the market value of Aston Martin with Newey as an asset, and then perhaps sell the team for a profit. Despite Aston Martin probably being the easier and more comfortable option, Newey has decided to cross the British Channel and accept the challenge offered by a Ferrari team desperate for a first championship since 2008. Newey was meant to fly to Miami earlier this week with the Red Bull team, ready for the weekend's Grand Prix, but he stayed in London to sort out his Red Bull contract and have a meeting with the Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur. Fred was also meant to be in Miami from last Sunday, but he didn't travel with the team either, understanding the importance of personally getting a deal with Newey across the line. Following the signing of Lewis Hamilton on a multi-year deal from 2025, the addition of Adrian Newey to the team will create a terrifying super team that hasn't been witnessed in F1 since Schumacher's days at the Scuderia. Then, another Frenchman, Jean Todt, assembled the best technical team possible, minus Newey, with the best driver at the time, to create an unbeatable combination which ruled Formula One for 5 years. No expense was spared in the hiring of Lewis Hamilton, and the same will happen with Newey. It has always been a dream of the British designer to work for the Scuderia, and it will be the perfect swan song for him to end his career with, just as it is for Lewis Hamilton. With the two together at Ferrari, the possibilities are truly endless. Assuming that they can get the new engine regulations right, Adrian will be pivotal in creating a car which, when driven by Lewis Hamilton, could dominate the sport in much the same way that Max has in Adrian's car for the past 2 years. There are a lot of ifs in that statement though, and plenty could happen to make it not happen. But if you wanted to put a bet on the driver and constructors champions for 2026, Hamilton and Ferrari would be the ones to go for. Fred Vasseur deserves all the praise possible for how he's picked up Ferrari since 2023. The signing of these two powerhouses of Formula One is astounding, and if everything unfolds in the way it's expected to, he will be crowned the new king of Italy before his time at Ferrari is up. To steal the most successful F1 driver in the history of the sport and its most successful designer, both of them mid-contract, is possibly the greatest heist in F1 history. He really has pulled off the Italian job. And what about Red Bull and Christian Horner? Newey's departure will be regarded as a seismic blow to Red Bull, given their domination of the sport since 2022, and will raise further questions about the future of world champion Max Verstappen. The Dutchman is known to have been unsettled by the fallout from the Horner saga and has repeatedly ducked the question when asked to give his team boss his full backing. But Verstappen, who is under contract to Red Bull until the end of 2028, has expressed his desire for the senior team to stay in place. As a result, Newey's departure will increase optimism at Mercedes that they'll be able to tempt Verstappen away. Mercedes are pursuing the 26-year-old and hope to secure his signature for the 2025 season, with a contract worth over $160 million a year on offer. The Horner controversy may yet have further ramifications within Red Bull as well. Insiders say other senior figures in the team are also considering leaving as a consequence. Christian Horner may have built Red Bull, but with his castle crumbling around him, how much longer can he be left to rule it? What are your thoughts on Adrian Newey's imminent departure from Red Bull? And do you think the Scuderia will win a first title in over 15 years in 2026 with his help? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.